What's up, guys? Pippy here, and welcome to episode 3 of my road to Manchester City. We're starting off this episode by opening some of the daily gifts that we got over the last few days, and I think these are from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we got ourselves a silver gift pack, and then we got ourselves 2 gold gift packs. And we're going to go ahead and send all of the things that we get from the packs to the club because we don't really want to sell them because they're not really going to sell. And we can use them for some of the squad builder challenges that we're going to be doing this episode. And we get ourselves Balanta right there. And he actually used to be in the Argentinian league. He played for River, and he was like one of the only gold center backs in that league. And we get ourselves the Independiente badge, which is actually pretty funny because my dad is a fan of that club. So we go ahead and send the guys to the club. And we go ahead and place some bids on players that we actually need for both of the teams we have right now. We get ourselves Barani right there, as you saw, because we needed a CDM from the Premier League in our first team. And we go ahead and place a bid on Navas because I also think we could use him for the first team. And he's actually pretty cheap right now. So we have the coins. We go ahead, place a bid on him. We also place a bid on Maffeo, who's the player that I want for the second team, which is going to be a Spanish team. As I said last episode, we're going to be going down the Spanish route for the second team because we have a few city players that are from Spain, so I think it makes sense. So we get that goalkeeper right there. I think we binned him, send him to the club. We also need a center back, and that is what we're looking for over here. Place a bid on him, 400 coins, very cheap, and it's going to be a good way to start off. We end up getting outbid on Maffeo, so we go ahead, take another bid on him. And we're also looking for, I think, a midfielder. So we go ahead, switch it to a center mid in that, and we need it to be from Spain. I don't think the league matters that much. So we go ahead and search for a Spanish midfielder. Don't want to spend more than 500 coins, so that is what we put in the search criteria. And I end up not knowing who to buy because there's actually a few options right there. But I saw Iraola, which interested me because he actually used to be a right back last year. So I thought that was a little bit surprising. I checked his work rates and they weren't that bad. So we went ahead, bought him, and we go ahead, send him to the club, and we make another signing for the Spanish side. We end up getting outbid on Navas, so I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and bin him. That is what we do. Get Navas for 1.5k, send him to the club. We get outbid once again on Maffeo, so we just go ahead, place one last bid, and if we get outbid, we'll just go ahead and buy the other one that we found for 600 coins. So we go ahead, clear off some of the expired things off the transfer targets because it is a little bit confusing seeing all that, and we end up winning the bid for Maffeo coming up over here for 550, which isn't too bad. We also get ourselves the gold center back that we placed a bid on, and we got him for 400 coins, which is pretty nice. So we're going to go ahead, send him to the club, send Maffeo to the club, and we're going to go ahead and check off Navas and Maffeo off the checklist, and that is 2 more city signings that we have made in this episode. So we're going to go ahead and place everybody in the squad to get it ready for next episode where we will be playing games. And over here we go ahead, put in the goalkeeper that we bought. We also go ahead and put in Maffeo, put in the center back, and we end up putting Iraola in there too. So our Spanish team looking nice, ready to play. And just before you freak out and say, well, dude, this is supposed to be a second city team, don't worry, we will get there. We just have to build up more coins before we do that. So we go ahead and do the same thing for the main team. We have to go ahead and add the CDM that we brought, Barani, or I think that's his name, and we also have to add Navas in there. And you're probably actually wondering, why isn't Navas in the second team? Because he's Spanish, but we're playing a different formation, so Navas wouldn't really work there, and I think the first team really needs a good reinforcement besides Diouf and Ambrose. So we go ahead, put Navas in there. Hopefully him and Barker can do the job down the wings, and we go ahead and we finally have time to do some squad builder challenges, and we go ahead and we do the multi-league squad one because that was a pretty easy one, and we did have some bronze players to use. So we go ahead, do that one, and I was a little bit stuck at first, but I ended up switching players around, getting the formation, getting the chemistry, and we ended up submitting that squad right there. No players that we would have actually used in the team, so that is why I didn't worry too much. have to watch out not to send in one of the city players. So that is why I did a double check just to make sure, and we ended up completing that one. And with that, we actually completed all of the League and Nation ones, so we got a pack for that. But we go ahead and open the silver pack that we got for completing it, and we get ourselves a Russian center back, which isn't that great, but still going to be useful for the silver challenge that we're going to be doing after this. So we go ahead, send everything to the club, and we also get a duplicate of the bronze guy we had just swapped in for Navas. So we go ahead, send the tradable one to the club, send the sellable one to the transfer list, and we go ahead and open the premium loan player pack. And what do you know, we get Benyat, which is actually perfect for our Spanish team because now we have another midfielder just in case. And over here we get ourselves C, which is actually pretty useful because we have A, B, and D, and we were missing C. So we go ahead, send all of that to the club, and we're going to get into the next challenge, which is going to be the kickoff one. I think we go into the kickoff. Yeah, we do the reserves one, then we do the silver one. Forgot about that. So we go ahead, look at the requirements for this one. Had to use 2 rare players, which doesn't really matter because we had some. Had to get the rating to at least 55, which wasn't that difficult to do. However, the chemistry was a little bit of a challenge. We ended up coming up with that, which got us to just 50 chemistry. Submit that in, get the prize, and go ahead and claim it right away, which is definitely something I recommend you do, by the way. As soon as you get the reward, claim it, because you're going to get players that are going to help you for more challenges, and that is what we're going to go ahead and do over here. We get ourselves 3 rare players, which is actually pretty nice right there. We get ourselves 2 Colombians and a couple of English players in there, so that wasn't a bad pack, and it was all players, which is actually even better. So we go ahead, send all that to the club. We jump into the substitutes one, which is pretty similar to the one we just completed. However, you did have to have some silver players in there because the rating requirement was a little bit higher. I think the chemistry is a little bit harder too, but not too bad. And we go ahead and we come up with this team. However, we get pretty close to the rating, but we don't get that close to the chemistry. So I was a little bit stuck here because I don't think I had that many silvers left, and I get kicked off Ultimate Team. So I took that as a sign that maybe I should stop and do a different one, and that is what we do. We get back onto Ultimate Team. We go ahead and do the gold upgrade one because I kept hearing people on Twitter say the 2 rare gold players pack is giving people amazing players. It's so good. Do that one. And I said, you know what? Let's try it for ourselves. The requirements weren't that hard. We just have to have a full gold team, 40 chemistry, very easily doable as long as you get people in the right position. So I said, you know what? Let's get rid of some of the gold cards that we have in our club and we're not going to use. And that is what we did. We went ahead, put everybody in there. We got the requirements done, and just double check and make sure I don't get rid of any Portuguese League players or MLS players. And what do you know? We complete it, get ourselves a 2 rare golds player pack, and we're going to go ahead and open that. And hopefully we can get something decent over here. But we get ourselves Sapo Nara, which isn't that great at all. So anyways, guys, that is going to conclude this episode. Next episode, we'll get back into the games. My name is Pipidid, and I'm out.